Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Black Myth Wukong. Now, this is a game that a lot of people have been talking about pretty much since yesterday when they dropped an official trailer over on YouTube. The trailer has been posted on Twitter as well. People have been linking me this nonstop, and they've been like, Rurikhan, look, there's like this new game that's going to be coming out. It looks friggin' amazing. Tell us what you think about it. And it's interesting because I was actually trying to look on YouTube for the official trailer, and I saw like a million different reaction videos, and there was people saying, oh, it's a new Dark Souls type game, and I was like, wait, what? It's a new action RPG game, it's a new open world game, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what the hell do you even mean? New Dark Souls type game, new open world? As far as I can tell, it looks something in the veins of like your traditional open world games, the action adventure combat focused open world games. That's what this looked like to me. Now, this game is being developed by a Chinese studio called Game Science. Now, I would love to give you more facts about Game Science, but I went over to the website, everything's in Chinese, and like the way that they coded the website makes it so that it's not super easy to look through it in Google Translate. So I'm be honest, I didn't really waste too much time there, so I don't exactly know how big this game studio is or is not, but the gameplay that we're about to watch, I do agree that it is impressive. So let's actually watch the whole trailer, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on it as things happen. So they start off by giving us kind of like tidbits of story here. We already know that this is going to be a game about Monkey King. Here you get to see like the very first look at what the visuals of the game are going to be looking like. Textures on this wooden asset here kind of give you an idea of the level of detail that you can expect, which is pretty damn good, even though, you know, you're probably watching this on YouTube and the video that I'm watching is a YouTube video that I already downloaded off of the internet. So it pretty much butchers the quality, and there's a lot of like video artifacting and all that stuff. But I can tell you that this game is going to look pretty impressive, just even from the initial wood assets that we see here, let alone the rest of the stuff that we'll eventually get to see. So this is all based off of Journey to the West, which I believe a lot of people are familiar with at this point. Like, in case you guys don't know, let me tell you something that's also a lot more known, which is Dragon Ball. That is also based on Journey to the West and Monkey King and all of that jazz. And that's kind of like what they're building on. This actually looks like the main character, except he's much older at this point. He's got some prayer beads going on there. Now, this is naturally CGI, but do not think, oh, it's just CGI and stuff. There's a good chunk of gameplay in this. This story starts with a golden cicada. I actually did not know what a cicada looked like because I've never really bothered to look it up. Gameplay footage recorded directly from pre-alpha game build. Work in progress does not represent the final look of the game. Yeah, I would expect to see maybe a little bit of downgrade. We'll see if the next generation consoles are going to be powerful enough to run this. Like, I'm sure that on PC, if they're going to put this on PC, it's going to look good like this. But, you know, on the consoles, I mean, depending on how good your PC is, naturally. So this is actually a mechanic, so this is not like a cinematic. This cicada is actually being controlled by the player. So you're able to transform into a cicada to actually, you know, navigate through the world. And it seems it works kind of like stealth, but certain enemies apparently are able to see you, like this guy. Notice how when we got here, we instantly got some kind of like a sound that lets you know the enemy has been alerted to your position or something along those lines, right? And this guy starts getting up, so you know that, okay, it's on. And he transforms back into Monkey. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the connection here is between the myth of the Monkey King and being able to transform into a cicada, but you can see that this right here is the Monkey King. Again, I apologize for the artifacting. This is the best version of this video that I could find. I wish that I could get something with a bit more visual fidelity, but this is what we got to work with. And you can also see that his weapon of choice is going to be the staff. And it's impressive to me how similar this character looks to the Wukong character that we had back in Paragon, which was a character that I actually really enjoyed. I didn't play him a whole lot, but I really did enjoy it when you were able to get some sweet plays off of him. You can see some deliberate attacks here. Now, there is something that did bother me in this very first fight, and I will be pausing this through. I mean, if you want to watch the official trailer, like, you can just look up Black Myth, or I'll link the official trailer down below if you want to just watch it without me constantly interrupting you. But, like, one thing that instantly bothered me here was the not the hit detection, but there were a couple of hits that you did on the enemy that almost looked like you didn't even felt them. Like, look. Like, there were like 3 hits there, no impact whatsoever on the enemy, which is kind of weird. So we have a power here that freezes the enemy in place. Now, actually, this is still alpha, so they can change that. Like, you can even just make the enemy's model just like, it doesn't need to like stop the enemy or stagger the enemy, but just like some kind of response to you hitting the enemy model is again, I'm very stickler for animations, but the game does look friggin' excellent in terms of animations, particularly for an alpha, because all of that polish usually comes in at later phases. But yeah, you got a special power. Looks like you can charge your staff. You see him charging his staff right there. And bam! See, now that right there is a thing of beauty. See, that's a cool ass animation. Like, let's watch that again. Watch. Boom! I like those big meaty hits. I love them. You can throw your staff, which is pretty cool. So here we're facing off against an archer. Pretty cool that you get like this deflect stance or whatever the hell it is that he's doing. And again, the staff is a really cool weapon, like a thick staff like that, because it gives you a lot of impact. Now here we're going to face off against what looks like to be some kind of like a boss. And this is a very important thing because of something that happens later on in the trailer. Now that right there looked like some kind of a parry mechanic that you can do. This enemy's got some charge attacks. Naturally, we have dodging. Dude, I really like that. Like, this thing that he does, where he just, like, jumps up in the air. Bam! I love that. That's really cool. I like that animation a lot. I like the flame particles on this as well. They're pretty cool. Like, I love how the fire trails. And it's really good looking fire too. Again, we have the whole thing with the limited bitrate, but another parry right there. The poking attacks, nice, and you defeated the enemy. Now I'm pretty sure that in the final game, well, depending on the difficulty that you happen to be playing in, but I think that in the final game, that enemy is probably going to be a little bit harder, because after you get this staff, you actually gain the ability to transform into the enemy, because like I said, I did watch this trailer before, so I know that near the end there's going to be something with this staff, and that is pretty cool. So I would expect him to be a little bit harder than this, because again, you're going to get a significant amount of power. I found it interesting that he kind of like puts the staffs on his head and then he like takes them out of his head as well. He transforms back into the cicada, and as you can see, he can kind of like stealth past the enemies. Like I said, that was going to be a mechanic. Now that is something that I want to fight. Look at that big boy right there. Look at the size of his head. I want to fight that thing. Look how big he is. Looks like we're hiding like in the tall grass or something. And off we go. But as you can see, like, the whole structure of the game does feel like it's much it's much more in terms of like what you would expect from an open world. You get a lot of places that you get to go and do. So I'd expect like your traditional stuff with checklist of things to do in the world, but I do hope that they don't make it too traditional, right? Like, that's one of the downsides, I feel, of Ghost of Tsushima, for instance, is the fact that it's a great game, great art style, which this game also seems to have really good, colorful art style. I like to see that. But at the end of the day, when you just put those, tried and true things that work for open world, you're not taking that many risks. And that is something that I value a lot in games that actually take risks. The coolest thing about Tsushima was that the story was really good and it kind of carried the whole experience through. So it was okay that it was, you know, the tried and true method of open worlds. But I'd like to see this game try something different. Looks like the Golden Cicada actually has a limit. I can see that on the top left, on the bottom left-hand side. There's like a duration there. Dude, the art style of these characters is really cool. Like, look at this little old man here just like chilling, smoking his pipe.
再往前走就是观音禅院，当年也是香火鼎盛啊。这可惜。
Looks like he's gonna be kind of like our Master Yoda, kind of like giving you quests and stuff.
后来啊，这禅院又被重建了，哎，可人心若是烧没了。
I wish I knew what you were saying, but like I don't speak Chinese. There's a big monster up ahead, you gotta go kill it, or something. I don't know. Maybe? Your character is very nimble. Naturally, he is the Monkey King. That jump looks like it should have a little bit more distance, not just height. And again, keep in mind, like all the things that I'm saying here, I'm not like, oh man, I'm going in on this game, I'm gonna super criticize. This is just like my impressions from the footage that I'm watching. This is not like a review video or anything like that, right? Because, you know, I know that a lot of people sometimes see someone just like criticize something that they saw and something that looks cool. And people tend to get a little bit too sensitive about that stuff nowadays. This is not meant to like, you know, criticize what the developer is working on. It's meant to give you my ideas of what I'm watching in this clip, and you know, just like the thoughts that pop into my head as someone that really likes video games. Like that's it, you know. I'm not reviewing this game based on a friggin' trailer, okay? Oh, looks like you can charge up your staff. It's got like 3 stages of charge, and boom! I love that. I love that move. I like the fact that it's got 3 stages of charge as well. I didn't pay too much attention when I watched it yesterday. That is cool. And also that you can charge it while running. You don't have to stay stationary while charging. That is a really nice detail because it allows you to basically... Ooh. Oh! Transform into Big Monkey Boy. Monkey Boy smash. You can just like Hulk out. You can just Hulk out and become a massive brawler, kind of like, you know, your ultimate ability, I guess. Wait, was there a timed gauge there? That's something very important. Let me see, because like, usually on the lower left-hand side, they do, yeah, there's a timed gauge right there. This transformation lasts for 30 seconds. And you still have a health bar. It's not like they can't kill you while you're like this. You probably just take a significant amount of less damage. And another important thing is that you can interrupt it before it finishes, and I wonder if that saves gauge, so that the next time you want to transform, like, you know, maybe the cooldown's a little bit affected by it. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep... Oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. The whole thing in the bottom from VLC. The presentation's also cool with a little Chinese text on the side. I wonder how that will... Are they going to work that into, like, a Western version of this? Also, is this game going to release first in Asia and then in the West? Because, like, I really feel like something that Asian games need to work on is simultaneous release. Because you lose a lot of the hype when a game comes out in a different language and you can't play it. You know, you tend to lose a lot of the hype when the game eventually comes out in the West. And this is based on Journey to the West, so a simultaneous release would be very appreciated. This creature looks friggin' amazing with all the fur and all the effects of the fur and stuff like that. Clearly, this is probably not going to be running on like your PS4 or your Xbox One. This is going to be next generation NPCs, I would expect, because, you know, there's just too much fur to animate. Like, you've seen some creatures like this, but not running at this steady performance that we got here. they probably have like a supercomputer running this, and like look at the lighting on the fur and stuff. Like really, really cool. Also, we had another parry there. I can see that we have the boss's health gauge at the bottom. Oh, the paralysis, but looks like paralysis significantly less on bosses like this guy. Because like on the previous dude that he paralyzed, it lasted a lot longer. By the way, might I say that this wolf creature is beautifully animated, like really well done. Oh, I love that. That friggin' jump up attack and slam down, I love it. Also notice the little detail of like the stuff on the rooftops and stuff. I kind of forget what you call those. Shingles? Whatever. The stuff on the rooftops. It was really cool when he jumped up on the roof and it's just like stuff started breaking and you hear the sounds. It's very nice detail. A lot of video games don't have that amount of detail. This looks like another one of his special magic. You can see that he used something from on the lower left-hand side that's currently on cooldown right now. That is really cool that he can kind of like multiply himself. And then the wolf just murders everything. And see, that right there is where why I said that I felt like the other dude should probably be a little bit harder on the final version of the game, because you get a transformation that lasts for 100 seconds. You can see the duration here on the lower left-hand side. A transformation that lasts for 100 seconds, you can transform into him. Like, initially when I saw him pick up the staff on the very first time I watched the trailer, I thought, oh, that's going to be like another weapon that you can swap into. But no, you just legitimately transform into that other mythical creature. And, you know, he's actually a little bit slower when it comes to moving around unless you do dashes. There doesn't seem to be a stamina gauge, which is a good thing because stamina gauges have become kind of like overused ever since Dark Souls. So many people are like, oh, we need to put a stamina gauge on our game. It's like, no, I mean, just do the game however you feel like it. It doesn't need to have a stamina gauge. That animation right there, really cool. That attack, sweet. And again, with the fire effects, looks really good. But notice how this character plays very differently from the other one. So it's not like, oh, it's going to transform and it's kind of like the same thing, but now I deal fire damage. No, it's different. Its charging attacks are also different. He's much more methodical about dashing, positioning, which is pretty cool. And it looks like he has his own health gauge, so you can use these transformations also when you're low on health, because you get like a whole different health gauge while you're at it. That aerial attack is freaking sweet. Wow, how much damage did he deal with that? What? Oh, we've been dealing a ton of damage with that fire. I'm sorry, I had to go back because I wasn't paying attention to the boss's health. Damn, dude. Oh, that attack messed him up. Even though he's on fire, it does not appear that he's taken burning damage. Or if he is, it's barely noticeable. Okay, here's the attacks that messed him up. Yeah, that one, and then that one. Yeah, that's pretty badass. Dude, he barely took any damage in this form. He's got a lot of invincibility frames on his dodges. Ooh. That was pretty badass how he got those dodges at the end there. And he transforms back into Monkey. And there's another monkey there. This makes you wonder, well, what happens next? Is he you from the future? And now here they're going to give us like a bunch of shots of the game. You can see like some kind of lightning event happening over there in the middle. And some two other creatures. Are there statues? No, those are statues. But it shows you the visual potential of the game, and it looks beautiful. You also get to see more biomes, which is really cool. You're not just going to have forest, you're going to have other things. I'm sure that someone who's familiar with Chinese mythology can probably tell you much more about the stuff that shows, like the little snake dude there. This crab thing in the desert. Not crab, more like beetle. Then you have like, wait, were those like Anubis type soldiers? I can barely tell because of the, Also, I just noticed something just now. There's a lock on. I can't believe I didn't notice it during the boss. Like that right there. That white dot, that's like straight up, you just know, okay, that's a lock on right there. I hadn't noticed it up until this point. Yeah, it kind of look like Anubis soldiers. Like this one has a different helmet. These look like Anubis soldiers, but Anubis would be like Egyptian mythology, right? Is that an eyeball? Oh yeah, and just go ahead and kill those 3 giant things, and then you'll be able to fly on a cloud, just like Goku. Then you got like some Dynasty Warriors thing happening here. It does look pretty badass. Like I'm super curious to see what this is gonna turn out to be. What's up, old man? Looks like this is pretty much it. This is their studio's website. But yeah, I am most definitely super curious about what this is going to turn out to be. Most importantly is that always whenever something comes from China, I feel like a lot of us as gamers tend to be a little bit hesitant as to what the business model could be for a game like this, but ultimately it's like, I don't think you can transform this into like a multiplayer type thing, right? This looks very much like a single player action RPG type game. I didn't look too much into the stuff because again, this is early footage. Who knows when this game's actually going to come out? Who knows if it's going to come out day and date on the West and on the East? So I'm kind of like holding off on being super excited about it. Like, would I love to play it? Hells yeah, I'd love to check it out. I'd love to see what they do with it. But I think that people in general are just over exaggerating about it's like, oh my God, it's like it's completely mind blowing thing. It's like, dude, it looks like a really cool open world game. It doesn't look like it's going to revolutionize the genre personally, but it does look cool. It does have a lot of cool mechanics. It looks like the combat's going to be fun. So yeah, sure, I'd be excited to play it. But I do think that overall the internet is really overreacting to this game. But either way, we shall see what becomes of this in the future. Maybe I will eat my words. Maybe this will be like super innovative. Maybe it'll be amazing, but we'll see. Either way, let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section down below. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you did not enjoy this video, the dislike button. Feedback is important, which you can also leave in the form of a comment. If you enjoy my content, subscribe, bell notification icon, all that jazz. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.